Hey guys, Miss Portillo here. I hope you guys are doing well and your families are doing well, and I hope you're staying home and healthy, and I hope you've been reading and doing some of that work your teachers gave you to keep your brains sharp. I thought I'd share a chapter from a book that I've enjoyed with you guys today to give you guys something that you could check out for reading. Maybe see if you can find it online for free, like on the library website, or you can always get it on Kindle. Or if you don't want to do that, it actually just became a Netflix show. So if you have Netflix, you can check out the show on Netflix. I haven't checked it out yet, but I am planning to. Right now it's like in the top 10 shows that people are watching, so it's probably good. So this book is called The Letter for the King, and it's like a typical adventure story. This guy has to overcome all these obstacles and challenges and enemies to like finally reach his goal. So what's happened so far is this guy, he's 16 years old, and he's about to become a knight for his country. So he's spending the night in this church with the other guys that are about to become knights, and they can't talk to anyone, they can't do anything, they can't leave, they can't do anything, they just have to sit there and like meditate all night. But then this like mysterious monk guy knocks on the door and like is begging to come in. So he finally goes and opens the door, and the guy gives him this letter, and he says, "You have to deliver this letter to this black knight with a white shield." And he's like, "If you don't do it, it's a matter of life or death." So the main guy, Thierry, is like, "I guess I should do this. Like, this is what a real knight would do." So he gets on his horse and he goes and tries to find the guy. So that's what's happening right now. I'm going to start reading, and I hope you guys enjoy. Chapter 5. The Black Knight with the White Shield. The sky in the east glowed pink and orange. The sun was about to come up. The birds were chirping and whistling and twittering away, as if they were delighted to greet the beautiful day that was dawning. Thierry, however, was not at all happy. He was annoyed because it was so late, and he still had not delivered the letter. How was he ever supposed to go back to the chapel in time? But he carried on, riding along the trail that the two black knights had left. He had promised to take the letter, and he did not want to break that promise. But that didn't stop him from grumbling and muttering to himself. He cursed the black knight with the red shield for challenging the black knight with the white shield, and he resented the knight with the white shield for accepting the challenge, and he cursed both of them for riding straight through the forest instead of leaving clear tracks on a proper path. It must be 5 by now, he thought. It's already light. Where on earth have they got to? He thought about how surprised Dagonot's knights would be when they arrived at the chapel to find he wasn't there. And what would the king think when he found out Thierry had run away on the night before the ceremony? And what about his friends and his parents and everyone else? But he remembered the stranger's words and sighed. He knew there was no other way he could have reacted. Then, with a jolt, he realized that he had lost the trail. He was in a clearing. The sandy ground was churned up with hoof marks and footprints. But which ones belonged to the knights? Thierry glanced all around. It seemed as if an entire troop of horsemen had passed this way. Perhaps the men he had seen earlier that night. They had raced through the forest, trampling plants and snapping branches. The trail of the two knights was lost. He decided to go in the direction that the troop of riders had come from, as if they'd left a clearly visible path. As he rode on, Thierry wondered if these horsemen had anything to do with the two black knights. Although it was light now, he shivered. He felt more anxious than he'd been at any point in his adventure so far. Thierry continued on his way for a while before hearing a sound, a quiet, anxious whinny. Then he spotted a horse tied to a tree. It was a beautiful black horse with a simple harness, and it looked at him with sad, dark eyes and whinnied once again. Thierry gently stroked the horse's nose and whispered, "You just wait there, and I'll go and see where your master is. I think he must be somewhere nearby. Is that right?" He rode on, and then, between the trees, he spotted someone lying in the grass. Something that was black and white and red. His breath caught in his throat, but he leapt quickly from his horse and ran over to take a look. A man was lying on the ground, clad in a black suit of armor that was damaged and dented. The shield beside him was white, and the red that Cherry had seen was blood. Cherry had found the Black Knight with the white shield, but the man was wounded, or worse. Cherry knelt down beside him. Although the knight was clearly injured, he was still breathing. He was not wearing a helmet now, but his face was covered with a black mask. Cherry felt himself trembling as he stared down at him, but then he pulled himself together. He had to do something, to find out the extent of his injuries, to stop the bleeding somehow. Then the knight moved and whispered, "Who are you?" Cherry leaned over him. "Please, do not move, Sir Knight," he said. "I am here to help. Are you in pain?" He could see that the knight was looking at him through his mask. "I do not know you," he said in a weak voice, "but I am glad someone has found me before I die. Do not worry about my wounds. There is nothing that can be done." "You must not say that," said Cherry, and he carefully started to remove the knight's armor. "Do not trouble yourself," whispered the knight. "I know that I am dying." Cherry feared he was right, yet he continued with his attempts to alleviate the injured man's suffering, tearing a strip of fabric from his robe and bandaging the wounds as well as he could. "Thank you," whispered the knight. "Who are you, and what has brought you to this place?" "My name is Cherry. Shall I fetch some water for you? Perhaps you would like something to drink." "There is no need," said the knight. "Cherry, I know that name." "Are you related to Cherry the Valiant?" "He is my father," said Cherry. "And what are you doing here?" asked the knight. I came here to find you." "I am so sorry that—" "You came to find me?" said the Black Knight. "You are here on my account? Thank the Lord! Then perhaps it is not too late." He looked at Cherry with eyes that gleamed behind his black mask and said, "Do you have something for me?" "Yes, Sir Knight," Cherry replied, "a letter." "I knew my squire would find a messenger," said the knight with a sigh. "Wait a moment," he continued as Cherry reached for the letter. "Is there not a question that you wish to ask me?" Cherry remembered the words he needed to say. Why is your shield white?" he stammered. "Because white contains every color," the knight responded. His voice sounded much stronger. It was a voice that inspired Cherry with great confidence. Then the knight asked, "Where do you come from?" "I come from afar," answered Cherry. "Now show me the letter," the knight ordered. "But first, make sure no one is spying on us." Cherry looked around the area. "I see no one nearby," he said, "just our horses." He took out the letter and showed it to the knight. "Oh, Sir Knight," he blurted out, "I am so sorry you were defeated in the duel." "Duel," said the injured man. "That was no duel. I remain unvanquished by any one man. The Black Knight with the red shield lured me into an ambush. His red riders leapt out and attacked me in large numbers." Cherry gasped. "That is disgraceful," he said. "But they did not find what they were looking for," said the knight. "They wanted to destroy not only me, but also the letter, the one you just showed me. Conceal it well, and then I will tell you what you must do with it. But first tell me, Cherry, how did you come to have this letter?" Cherry told him all that had happened. "Good," whispered the knight. He fell silent for a few moments. "Do not look so worried," he said kindly. Cherry could tell that he was smiling beneath his mask, and he wished he knew what the knight's face looked like. "Listen to me," the knight said. "I must keep this brief, because I have little time. This letter is for King Unawen, and it is of the utmost importance. Now that I can no longer deliver it, you must do so." "Me?" whispered Cherry. "Yes, I know of no one who could do it better. You are perfectly capable, and I have every faith in you. You must leave immediately. Enough time has been lost already. Journey westwards, first through the forest, and then along the Blue River until you reach its source. There is a hermit who lives there, Manaras. Take this ring from my finger. When you show it to him, he will know it was I who sent you. He will help you to cross the mountains, because you will not be able to do it alone. Once you are on the other side of the mountains, the road will lead you to Unawen." The knight raised his hand and said, "Here, take my ring. I know I am asking much of you, but I am sure you are the right person for this task. Cherry carefully removed the ring from the knight's finger. I want to do it, he said, but I do not know. You must do it, said the knight, but I do not deny that it will be difficult. You already know I have enemies who are after this letter. Many dangers will threaten you along the way, so you must keep your mission secret. Tell no one about it, and give this letter to King Unalwin alone. What does the letter say? Asked Cherry, as he slowly slipped the ring onto his own finger. That is a secret, answered the knight. You must not open the letter, but if you fear that you will lose the letter, then, and only then, you may open it and commit its message to memory, so that you may pass it on to King Unalwin. Then you must destroy the letter itself, but do so only as a final resort. The knight gasped and fell silent. Then, in a much weaker voice, he asked, Will you take the letter? Yes, Sir Knight, Cherry replied. Promise me this, on your honor as a knight, he whispered. I swear on my honor as a knight, said Cherry, except, he added, I am not yet a knight. But you will become one, said the knight. Please, would you remove my mask? A knight must always face death with an open visor. Hands shaking, Cherry did as he was asked, and when he saw the Black Knight's calm and noble face, he felt moved to grasp his hand and swore to deliver the letter safely. And, he said, I shall find your murderers and take vengeance on them. That is not your task, whispered the knight. You have only to serve as my messenger. The knight closed his eyes. His fingers twitched in Cherry's hand and then were still. Cherry looked at him gently and gently released his hand. He knew the knight was dead, and he was deeply saddened, even though they had only just met. Cherry buried his face in his hands and prayed for the man's soul. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that chapter and are maybe interested in reading or watching more of this story. If you are, some questions you could kind of think about is, do you think he is going to be able to deliver the letter to the king? What do you think is in the letter? And do you think he's still going to become a knight after all this because he wasn't supposed to leave, but he's about to do all these helpful things, so I don't know. And one other thing you could think about is, if you were Cherry, would you have left the church and would you have agreed to deliver the letter? So, especially with all your friends there, all the other knights there watching you leave when you weren't supposed to, do you think you would have done it? Or would you have stayed? Alright, so I hope you guys are doing really good. I miss you guys, and I hope we can start school as soon as possible. I hope to see you guys soon, so take care and stay healthy and stay safe. And say hi to your family or your little brothers and sisters if I know. Alright, bye guys.